Now we got to talk about what is really relevant right now, and that is COVID-19 cases across the country. We got 19 states now that are pausing reopening. 19 states. Nearly 50,000 cases in 24 hours. 10,000 new cases yesterday in Florida alone. Why? Why is this happening? Well, you'll hear some people make excuses for the president. You'll hear some people on the right say, well, it's about contact tracing. It's about more testing. Even if that was true, and even if that was a part of this and played a role, you can't tell me that has anything to do with people getting hospitalized. You can't tell me that has anything to do with people getting sick. I know a few people alone that are sick that may have COVID. So, I mean, and I know one person that does have it. So, I mean, you cannot make that excuse. Let me tell you something, guys, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of reasons why testing is up. You cannot look me in the eye and tell me that the Las Vegas Strip opening up too soon, in my personal opinion, didn't have anything to do with the reason why we are in the situation we are in now. Of course it did. You've got people coming in all over the country, all over the world, flocking the Las Vegas Strip. You're telling me that has nothing to do with this? Of course it does. Any logical person would tell you that. And yes, I will throw in all the protests, not just the Black Lives Matter protest, all the protests. You could throw in Donald Trump into that mix, what he did in Tulsa. You could throw in the Open Up Nevada and Open Up the country protests that happened everywhere. Remember those that took place in Michigan and right here in our backyard? They weren't practicing social distancing. Yes, I throw in the Black Lives Matter protest as well. Any gathering, the religious gatherings, churches, those who defied what the governor has said, they all play a role. And you're telling me these casinos that opened up have nothing to do with it? I believe Sisolak is steaming right now in his office because he tried to do the right thing, and he was pressured because there's money involved. And what does the Gaming Commission in Nevada decide to do? Well, of course, they put some regulations in there, but they opened up too soon. And then you have these idiots that still refuse to wear masks. You have these idiots that still think this is a Democratic hoax. And sadly, new U.S. cases now have risen by 80% in the last 2 weeks, leading several states and cities to cancel upcoming 4th of July celebrations. Not here in Las Vegas. Hotels are still letting you check in. People from all over the place are going to be here this weekend. And why? Why? At least 19 states that were progressing through reopening now have paused or rolled back plans. Now, in Colorado, they gained some praise, but they're still being cautious. Reopening of businesses, bars will now be closed for 30 days. You look at what's happening in California. Basically, everything is shutting down in California, and I think Gavin Newsom is doing the right thing. But yet you still have people that are downplaying this virus. You still have people that won't listen to the scientists. By the way, where is Governor DeSantis? We saw him all over the news gloating. Everybody said Florida was going to be the next New York. But you don't hear that in the media. Well, where has Governor DeSantis been in the last week? 10,000 new cases yesterday. DeSantis has crawled into his little bunker. Where has he gone? It is so egregious to me. It is unbelievable. And then we have the South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem. Yes. So she was planning this little Trump rally, my understanding, and she makes an appearance on the Laura Ingraham show.
Well, it's a big July 3rd event to celebrate the 4th of July. It'll be held at Mount Rushmore. And yes, President Trump is set to speak. And that's the event. It's a big event in South Dakota.
So I want you to have a listen to South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. This was just yesterday. And you want to wonder why we're seeing so many spikes across the country. Take a look at some of our leadership. Have a listen to what Kristi Noem said about this event that is scheduled for July 3rd.
What do you say to those who are citing health concerns as the reason to cancel all of these patriotic displays?
You know, Laura, in South Dakota, we've told people to focus on personal responsibility. Every one of them has the opportunity to make a decision that they're comfortable with. So we will be having celebrations of American independence. We will have a large event at July 3rd. We told those folks that have concerns that they can stay home. But those who want to come and join us, we'll be giving out free face masks if they choose to wear one. But we won't be social distancing. We're asking them to come, be ready to celebrate, to enjoy the freedoms and the liberties that we have in this country, and to talk about our history and what it brought us today with an opportunity to raise our kids in the greatest country in the world.
Enjoy our freedoms that we, in this country. Let me tell you something. I can't call her the names I want to call her right now on the radio because the FCC will find me. This is a despicable woman. You know what she is saying? I'm going to make the perfect analogy. Basically, she's saying, well, you can drive drunk if you want to, or you can stay home. You have the freedom to do that. She is basically saying you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to practice social distancing. It's a personal choice. This is one of the dumbest women, not only in office, but maybe in the country and in the world. I cannot believe what I heard from her. In this moment, where cases are on the rise, almost half the country is shutting down, and it might not be that long until Las Vegas and Nevada shuts down again. Listen to what that woman is saying. How can anybody agree with her? That is sane. I mean, I'm almost speechless that there are idiots in office like her that say these things. Go ahead. We won't practice social distancing. Enjoy your freedoms and your liberties. Hey, if the virus spreads, so be it. You're here to enjoy your freedom, because we have this wonderful event on July 3rd. What a complete nitwit. And is it a surprise that the racist witch, Laura Ingraham, didn't press her on that? Of course not. If it was any decent journalist or talk show host that is fair, would have pressed her on that issue. But of course she didn't do that, because that's Laura Ingraham for you. She is a horrendous person as well. These two have a lot in common, folks. Laura Ingraham and South Dakota's governor have a lot in common. Oh, yeah, someone else we could throw into the mix. I know, Brian, you're just being too liberal. You're going after Republicans. Oh, no. Well, guess what? Donald Trump happens to be a Republican. And Trump now all of a sudden is all for wearing masks. Even though you've never really seen him wear one in public, he went on Fox Business. Listen to what he said about wearing masks. Have a listen to this.
Well, I don't know if you need mandatory, because you have many places in the country where people stay very long distance. You talk about social distancing, but I'm all for masks. I think masks are good. I would wear, if I were in a group of people and I was close.
You would wear one?
Oh, I would. Oh, I have. I mean, people have seen me wearing one. If I'm in a group of people where we're not, 10 feet away, but usually I'm not in that position, and everyone's tested. Because I'm the president, they get tested before they see me. But if I were in a tight situation with people, I would absolutely.
You think the public will see that at some point?
I mean, I'd have no problem. Actually, I had a mask on. I sort of liked the way I looked.
What do you mean you'd had no problem? You've been talking against wearing a mask since day one. Do you hear him lie? Since day one, in all of his press conferences, when he's been asked about wearing the mask, he said, well, it's not really fit for a king. It's not fit for me. He has been anti-mask since day one. And now, all of a sudden, he's saying, I'm all for wearing a mask. Ladies and gentlemen, this was just a few weeks ago where the President of the United States was mocking Joe Biden for wearing a mask. Have a listen to this.
I see Biden walking up on a stage where there's nobody around and the audience is 25, 30, 40 feet away. Not too much of an audience either, by the way. And he's speaking and he has a mask on. And you can't even understand what he's saying, or he takes it off up there. When there's nobody around, I don't see any reason to be wearing it. But no, I have no objection to masks whatsoever. Do what you're supposed to do, and also do what makes you feel good.
Do what makes you feel good. Don't do what's the right thing to do. What a dope. Well, we all know that Donald Trump, when he bragged about sexual assault, he certainly does what feels good for him. There's no question about that.
He actually, I don't have the audio, but he did say that he likes the way the mask looked on him. Made him look like the Lone Ranger. He thought that was kind of cool.
Just pure.
But of course, the Lone
idiotic.
Ranger's mask was over his eyes.
Over his eyes, yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure what that means.
What a dumbbell. Folks, listen. Listen, it's no secret I can't stand the man, okay? I go on the radio every day. I cannot stand Donald Trump for a number of different reasons. A laundry list that I'm not going to go through again. I just think he's just a horrible person. But he's also very dangerous because he sets a bad example for everybody else. Take your Republican hat off for a second. I don't have to convince Democrats. I don't have to convince most independents because they agree with me. Take your Republican hard hat off just for one moment. We all know that the situation that this country is in, at least we should know. It's a very serious situation. It appears as though the economy is probably going to shut down again, certainly here in Las Vegas. Not a good thing. I didn't want this to happen. I want the economy to remain open, not if it's not safe. We have the leader of the free world, and there are people out there that are Donald Trump supporters that think he's done a great job in handling this virus. He has been anti-mask since day one. By the way, Mike Pence is the same guy who's shown up to public events not wearing a mask. He wore a mask the other day in church as a choir of about 60 to 80 people were not wearing masks or practicing social distance. But, you know, they were praying, so I'm sure God will take care of them, according to Mike Pence. But do we not see this as problematic? Just forget about the politics for a second. Please, I have to say that every day. Forget about the fact that Donald Trump is a Republican. The virus does not care what political party you are in. Just think for a second. Why is the President of the United States so anti-mask? Why has he been anti-mask since day one? And why does he continue to make ridiculous statements when it comes to the virus? It wasn't that long ago that the president said, well, we got about 15 cases now. We should be down to 0. Folks, he's doing it again. Have a listen to his claim and what he claimed about this virus just yesterday. Have a listen to this.
We're headed back in a very strong fashion with a V, and I think we're going to be very good with the coronavirus. I think that at some point that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope.
You still believe so? Disappear?
Well, I do. Yeah, sure, at some point. And I think we're going to have a vaccine very soon, too.
It's just going to disappear, I hope. Spoken like a true Rhodes Scholar. I think it's going to be very good, and I think it's just going to disappear, I hope. Folks, this is the leader of the free world. Leader is the key word there. Is he leading right now? We're going to have a vaccine real soon, too. It's just going to disappear. Again, folks, it wasn't that long ago that the President of the United States was saying you can go back to work. Everything will be just fine. It wasn't that long ago that the President of the United States was undermining this virus, as many on the right do every single day. They do it on right-wing talk radio, and they follow the president's lead when it comes to that. Look at how many people have lost their lives. We're now approaching close to 130,000. Just about 2.7 million people in this country now have the virus. Globally, over 10 million. Over 500,000 deaths. But yet there are still people that want to compare this virus to the flu. Let me tell you something. If you're one of those people today, not even talking about a couple months ago, I'm talking about today now. If you're one of those people that still thinks this is a hoax, that refuses to wear a mask, and if you're one of those people that still compares this virus to nothing worse than the flu, you are some of the dumbest people in society. You are beyond ignorant, and you are dangerous. If you want to kill yourself and you want to undermine this virus, I say go right ahead. But the problem here is that this isn't just about you. If you walk into a store or a private business or you're out in public and you choose not to wear a mask for whatever ignorant reason, maybe because it's just uncomfortable, you're not just putting yourself in harm's way. You're putting others in harm's way. A big part of wearing these masks, a big part, is protecting others so you don't spread the virus to other people. There is something called being asymptomatic. We've been talking, this isn't anything new, though. We've been talking about this for months. The difference is now we're in a big crisis again. You know, we didn't hear about this for several weeks. Do you remember when these Black Lives Matter protests were going on in the heat of it? And you heard people on the right saying, did the virus just disappear? It's incredible. These Democrats, they're not talking about the virus anymore. It just seemed to have disappeared. It's gone. No, dopes. While you were making those ignorant statements, the virus was spreading. And it's why we're at where we're at now. I mean, I read you the statistics. What more do you want to know? This isn't just about more testing or contact tracing. More people are getting sick. More people are getting hospitalized. And sadly, and I wish I was wrong, eventually more people are going to die. You know what they say on the right. The death toll's down. People aren't dying. Well, more people just got sick in the last several weeks. Sadly, wait till another 3 or 4 weeks and let's see where that's at. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. There's just no excuse. There's no excuse for this behavior. There is no reason why these casinos should still be open. And by the way, what about the inconsistencies that I've seen in these casinos? It is unreal. I will give you an example, and I'm going to say the names of some of these casinos because I don't care. I'm going to be honest. I like Ellis Island. In fact, it's one of my favorite casinos. It's a cool casino. I go there. They got great karaoke. The bar's cool. The food is excellent. But, folks, nobody checked our temperature when we walked in. Nobody told us to put our mask on when we walked in. Now, they might have signs up that say put your mask on, but maybe they don't have enough security guards. It was the opposite of, for example, when I went into a bigger strip casino. Every 5 seconds, they're going to tell you to put your mask on. I go into the station casinos, and I give the station casinos credit. They all check your temperature before you are allowed into the casino. Ellis Island didn't do that. And by the way, I'm not trying to single out Ellis Island. There are other casinos that are inconsistent as well. You go into some casinos, they make you wear a mask at the table. They make you wear a mask everywhere. You go into other casinos, eventually they'll probably tell you to put a mask on, but for a while there, nobody told me to put a mask on. And this is what I'm talking about. There are too many inconsistencies. Every owner of every casino does things a little bit differently. Do you not see that as a problem, folks? Do you understand where I'm getting at here? I'm sure there are restaurants out there that are really, really good. They're right on top of things. And I've been to a few of them. They make you wear your mask on. They do a great job with social distancing. They're only at 50% capacity. Absolutely. But mark my words, because I've seen it, there are other restaurants out there that are not doing that. There are other businesses that are not doing that. It's called being inconsistent. It's one thing to be inconsistent if you're on the golf course. It's another thing to be inconsistent when we're talking about people's lives. That is where I'm going with this, and I just don't trust people. I don't trust people. I don't trust their intelligence, and that is why eventually, I'm telling you right now, and I said it yesterday, the economy, once again in this country, we are all going to be in a shutdown again because of some of your stupidity out there.